Hello, everybody. Mike from Southern California again, and you're on the mic. So, on today's episode, I'm going to be talking a little bit about classic Christmas specials. You know, if you grew up in the 60s, 70s, or 80s, there were a lot of great Christmas specials out there. Christmas cartoon specials, of course, what I'm talking about here. Many that were produced from like Hanna-Barbera, um, Rankin-Bass, you know, Lee Mendelson Productions. There are a number, dating all the way back to the 60s to the 80s. Some of Hanna-Barbera's Christmas classics include, of course, a set of Christmas Flintstone, which was which was a part of which was a Christmas episode of the Flintstones animated series from the 1960s. That debuted on December 25th, 1964. Um, Followed up by Flintstones Christmas in 1977, and then also a Flintstones Family Christmas and Flintstones Christmas Carol. I'll get to the Christmas Carol stuff in a moment. Um, Among probably my all-time favorite, of course, is Yogi's First Christmas, which was basically about you know, so Yogi's hibernating or trying to hibernate, and he gets woken up by Christmas, by some noise, and comes to find out that it's Christmas time. Now, normally bears, of course, are sleeping through Christmas time, so they don't even usually know what Christmas is. But so in the movie, of course, Yogi's First Christmas, Yogi turns out to be the hero as he thwarts the schemes of Herman the Hermit to try to ruin Christmas, and Snively, the nephew of the patroness who is thinking of selling the lodge. Um, very another another classic Christmas story that came out in 1970 had a very similar premise. It's called Santa and the Three Bears, in which um, two cubs, Chinook and Nakona, were having heard about Christmas from their park ranger, got all excited, much to the chagrin of their mother Nana, who just simply wants them to go to bed. So some real cute stuff. And then of course throughout the 60s and 70s, of course Rankin-Bass did a number of Christmas specials, that would become franchises, including Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, story of course, shiny red-nosed reindeer who was initially ridiculed for his difference until it became apparent that it was needed to help Santa. Um, the Little Drummer Boy franchise, was um, which was a take on basically showing you the perspective of Jesus Christ's birth through the perspective of a little drummer boy. A song was even made about it, in which the only gift he could give baby Jesus was the playing of his drum. We also had Frosty the Snowman franchise that Rankin-Bass did. The story of course, the snowman brought to life by a magic hat, and then you had the stories of Santa Claus. Santa Claus come to town, and all the story of the Santa Claus or origin. Many of the some of these were classic animation, others were stop motion animation, but still all very good. All still very good, for their time. Now, of course, one of another classic was Charlie Brown's Christmas, in which Charlie Brown questions that which came out in 1965 from Lee Mendelson Productions, you know, in which Charlie Brown gets depressed over the commercialization of Christmas happening then, until at one key moment in the series, Linus gets up, and Charlie Brown just had it, just out of frustration, he asked, "Do any of you even know what Christmas means?" In which Linus Van Pelt gets up on stage and recounts the story from Luke, from the book of Luke in the Bible, chapter 2, verses 8 through 14, in which the angels were telling the shepherds who were initially frightened of the coming of Jesus' birth. Um, then, of course, as we also know, there are a couple of Christmas pieces of Christmas literature that have been brought to both the small screen and the big screen on several occasions. Probably the most notable, of course, A Christmas Carol, a story by Charles Dickens in which the miserly Ebenezer Scrooge, after being visited by the ghost of his former partner Jacob Marley, as well as the ghost of Christmas past, present, and future, repents and changes his ways to become more of a generous businessman. Um, After seeing where his life possibly could lead without having the generosity of the Christian spirit. Um, and and many classic cartoons, either in episode form in an episode of theirs or just a full-on special, have have made adaptations to the story, including Disney with Mickey Mouse's Christmas Carol. You have Mr. Magoo's Christmas Carol. Um, the story itself was, I think, independently done as well. Flintstones did an adaptation. The Jetsons did an adaptation. Um, a number of you know different different venues have done classic these classic, and then of course, as everybody knows, probably one that's become more famous in recent years because of not just the Jim Carrey version back about 10, 15 years ago, but also some of the How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Again, another situation where a miserly individual is taught the meaning of Christmas or change for the better. So, I'm sure many of us grew up on many of these Casper's First Christmas is another one. You know, Many of us grew up on many of these classics. It's always fun to go back every year and watch them again. Just go back to a time when things were a lot simpler and you didn't have messages getting shut down, shoved down your throat, basically. Things happened in a very simplistic manner. Wasn't as much in your face, you know. So with that, moving on then. On this day in history, I only have one piece because I was a little rushed here. Only one piece of information to give you. On this date in 2002, on December 23rd, 2002, the anime adaptation of Studio Dean's Samurai Deeper Kyo finished its run on TV Tokyo. On this date in 2002, the anime adaptation of Samurai Deeper Kyo finished its run on TV Tokyo. And with that, you guys can always check the links below. If you want to contact me directly, you can DM me on check out my Discord. You can join my Discord if you'd like. Love to have the conversations with you. Um, as you notice, I'm promoting a bunch of different dub companies. Good Funimation is not the only game in town after all. You can always check out other works. Um, Also, I'm still promoting Vic's GoFundMe. and the Ortiz family GoFundMe. I still got to check up on that, see if it's even necessary. I don't know if they reached their goal or not, but I should check on that pretty soon. But as always, guys, if you never feel like you have to donate. You're not nobody's pressuring you to donate. Nobody wants to see you go bankrupt over it. If you have the means to and it's on your heart to do so, please consider donating. If you've already donated, please consider donating again. And if you cannot donate, you can still help out the cause by sharing the links. Sharing is caring after all. You never know. Maybe somebody in your circle of friends will want to help out. And if you like this content, please consider liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. Um, I always look forward to conversations with you guys. Um, as I said, if you like this content, please consider liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, hitting the notification bell. Um, I always look forward to the conversation with you guys, long, civil, and respectful. Um, and until tomorrow, bye.